Hello, and welcome to Belvoir In The Know, the podcast created for the Fort Belvoir community to stay in the know and on the go. I'm Command Sergeant Major Greg Kleinholz, the Fort Belvoir Garrison Command Sergeant Major.
And I'm Colonel Josh Seagraves, the Garrison Commander. So, Sergeant Major, here we are again, another podcast, and today's a particularly timely topic. We're going to discuss permanent change of station moves, or PCS moves as we typically call them. So, summer's typically a time when most service members, or some at least, get orders and relocate to new duty stations for their jobs. And as with many other aspects of our lives, the commercial moving industry used by the military has also been affected by the pandemic. Not only did a stop movement order last year cause a backlog of people set to PCS this summer, but the moving industry has also been impacted by fewer available employees. So today, special guests, we're with Carlton Freese, the Transportation Officer at the Logistics Readiness Center here on Fort Belvoir. And part of LRC's mission is moving people and their things safely and efficiently across the world. So, Mr. Freese, thank you for coming to speak with our audience with information and advice to make it through a PCS move.
Colonel Seagraves, it's my absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hey, absolutely. You know, I don't think our audience, big or small, really cares what the Sergeant Major and I necessarily have to say, but it's our guests that make these podcasts possible. So thank you very much. And so, you know, you before you worked in logistics, I think you worked as an MP, right? Sort of like Command Sergeant Major Kleinholz.
That's correct, sir. I retired from the military after 20 years, and I'll retire on September 30th after 25 years as a DA civilian.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Wow, really impressive, particularly for a former MP. Do you see what I did there, Sergeant Major?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, Mr. Freese, thank you. I just personally thank you for your continued service and congratulations on your upcoming retirement. It's very, very impressive. So, Mr. Freese, just what's the most important thing to do once you get orders to a new duty station?
Sir, the absolute most important thing upon receipt of those orders is to start the process right away and be flexible in terms of getting the pack and pickup dates that work with your schedule.
Yes, sir, that's important. And I know the MPD is working on getting those orders in the soldiers and service members' hands ahead of time. So how do we submit an application to have our household goods packed and moved, and what happens afterward?
Sergeant Major, this is the process. Once a service member or civilian, doesn't matter, receives their PCS orders, they go to a website called move.mil, and fill out their application. It's self-explanatory. And then part of the application process is selecting the office to process your application. You can select any office that's available. For the folks here at Fort Belvoir, they will probably select my office and it'll come up as Fort Belvoir. What my office does then, upon receiving the application, we review that application to ensure it's properly filled out, and then we forward it to the shipping office, which is Gypsoma, also located here on Fort Belvoir. And Gypsoma will then arrange the pack and pickup dates for the customer's household goods.
Yeah, that's really good, and that's really important that they do that ahead of time. So what options do the service members have for their move? For example, can they choose to move their belongings on their own?
Sergeant Major, they absolutely can. And that process is called a personally procured move, or PPM. Up until recently, that process was called a DITY move, or do-it-yourself move. And doing it yourself is exactly what a service member or a civilian will do if they select that option. They do everything themselves. for procuring their moving vehicles that they're going to use, packing their household goods, and then unpacking those household goods when they get to the new location. What the government is currently doing in regards to PPMs is authorizing an incentive to service members to receive 100% of authorized expenses for conducting these PPMs. And I can't overemphasize the word authorized expenses. What service members need to do is check with their local transportation office to get a list of those authorized expenses.
Yeah, boy, that was just like a super detailed and very complete and comprehensive rundown there. So let's back up just a little bit and talk about just kind of the LRC's personal property office, its hours, and sort of like what's the best way to contact them to start the process that you described.
Sir, we'd love for customers to come visit at our office, which is located at 5982, 13th Street, Building 1195. Our hours of operation are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 1500. Thursdays, we're open from 8 to noon. They can either visit us in person, as I said, or they can call our office. And that phone number is 571-515-3040. We will return their call within 24 hours.
Okay, great. And also you mentioned the website, so move.mil. That's where people go if they have questions or problems during their move, like if there's an issue during the moving process. Is that how they do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then can you describe the difference between the personal property office and the joint personal property shipping office of the Mid-Atlantic, or GIPSOMA as you referenced?
Absolutely, sir. My office, which is the processing office, as part of the Logistics Readiness Center, counsels customers on their shipping entitlements and ensures that applications are properly filled out so we can forward them over to GIPSOMA, the shipping office. My office is the face to the customer for their PCS move and the starting point. The GIPSOMA office is the office that books the actual pack and pickup dates of customers' household goods.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a very distinct mission for each set. So it's imperative that each one does their part and who to contact. So thanks for that. So in addition to the backlog in industry being short-staffed, do you have any other challenges with coordinating moves for service members and their families?
Sergeant Major, unfortunately, yes, we do. And one of those biggest challenges is something called blackout dates. And blackout dates are periods when there are very limited transportation assets available to move household goods. During blackout periods, service members can experience major problems trying to get their household goods moved scheduled.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That's an important point too. And so I think it does sort of get frustrating for folks as they start to get into the process and then maybe don't understand or didn't know about blackout dates, or some of the shortages that we asked about and you talked about. So it's another informative discussion. So just as we talk about PCS moves, obviously we've condensed it quite a bit. Do you have anything else to add for our audience about preparing for or things to expect during a PCS move?
Yes, sir. And that would be that I can't emphasize enough the need for customers to have flexibility, especially during this peak moving season when they're requesting their pack and pickup dates. Customers should have a plan A, a plan B, and maybe even a plan C. Remember, flexibility is the key to success.
Yeah, that flexibility is important, Mr. Freese. And I think as you illustrated earlier, planning as far in advance as you can is also important. So, Mr. Freese, how can they contact you? And you may have said it earlier, with questions or concerns.
There's two ways, sir. They can call us at 571-515-3040 and leave a message, and we'll do our best to get back to them within 24 hours. They can also visit us in person.
Great. Yeah, that's a great recap and rundown. So, Mr. Freese, thank you again for being here with us today. It's really informative and timely, especially with everything sort of going on and the staffing shortages. So, it's reinforced the importance to be organized and flexible, as you just noted, during a PCS move. And obviously, we greatly appreciate your time and for educating us to make our next PCS move as easy and as worry-free as possible. So, Sergeant Major, anything from your foxhole or anything you'd like to add?
Yes, sir. Just so those who are PCS in this season, which is going to be very busy, just know from AMC down through MCOM to Fort Belvoir and all the installations that there's a concerted effort to improve the processes, and that the local LRCs and gypsomas, they're working as well to get through it. But just like Mr. Freese said, I think he said, plan ahead and have flexibility. And if you decide to do it yourself, if you have a basic timeline to further out you request that transportation truck that you're going to rent, it's usually cheaper for you, and you can make a little bit more money that way. So that's just from personal experience. But if you have issues or concerns, please reach out to one of those two organizations. And in the end, between yourself, sir, and the efforts that I'm doing will help resolve the problems that do surface. So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Sergeant Major, absolutely. So, Carlton, you already talked about your phone number again, but once again, just for a quick recap, if folks need to reach out, how should they do that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Reach out to my office, please. And I'll once again, let me provide our phone number, 571-515-3040. We'll get back to you within 24 hours. Again, our office location, and we'd love for you to stop by and see us, because I've got a team of dedicated professionals ready to assist. And our address, 5982 13th Street, Building 1195. We're open for customers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 08 to 1500, and Thursdays from 8 to 12. Sir, our mission is to take care of customers.
Hey, absolutely. Yep. It's right in line with people first, and taking care of our people. So once again, like you stated earlier, once you get your orders, create an account right away on move.mil, and then Carlton gave you the rest of the information that you need. So, hey, Carlton, I just like to thank you again. An impressive career, both in the military and as a DoD civilian. So just thank you for your service. Sincerely, it's really an incredible amount of time. And with that, we've sort of come to the end of another podcast. So I'd just like to thank the audience for joining us. Information about PCS moves is available from move.mil, as well as the Army PCS Move app. And if you haven't gotten the COVID vaccine, it is widely available now. So please continue with basic COVID precautions when and where appropriate. Download the Garrison app, make Fort Belvoir your installation of choice, and don't forget to connect with us on our website, Facebook page, and on Twitter. Thanks for joining us, and now you know.